सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं. In the chapter 3 we have completed up to 33rd sloka. We'll just have a quick review and then go forward. From sloka number 30 up to 35, Paramatma is giving the karma yoga in short. He is concluding the karma yoga. In sloka 30 especially, he has given an excellent definition, a 5-point formula, 5 conditions to be met by karma yogi. Every karma yogi must follow these 5 conditions. The first condition being adhyatma chetasa, viveka buddhi. Spiritual progress is primary. And if material goals have to be necessarily accomplished, then they must be subservient to the spiritual goal. The priority is for the spiritual goal, not for the material goals. This is what we call adhyatma chetasa or viveka buddhi. Then the second condition is Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. Associate yourself with God for purification, karmanuṣṭhānaṁ. In every karma, in every action, may you have the divinity, may you have the God element in it, and dedicate all your karmas unto God. This is the second condition. Ishvara arpana buddhi is the second condition. The third condition is nirāsīhi. Nirāsīhi means without having any abhimana for karma phala, without having obsession for the karma phalas. Every karma will produce phalam. There is no fruitless action. I have no clue of knowing what type of result it will produce. That's how there is unpredictability in human life. Sometimes we have to face shocking results. Karma Yoga prepares the mind of the sadhaka to receive any kind of result as Ishvara prasadam, Ishvara prasada buddhi. I appreciate the Lord as the most just principle in the world. Lord can never do injustice to me. And if there is a gap between what I expect and what happens, the mistake is not due to Lord, but because of the past karmas I did. Bhagavan's computer can never go wrong. This is what we call viveka buddhi, Ishvara prasada buddhi, Ishvara arpana buddhi and Ishvara prasada buddhi, accepting the karma phalas as Ishvara prasadam. When you accept karma phalas as Ishvara prasadam, there is no need for you to brood for the adverse results. The fourth condition to be in the karma yogam is, if at all your actions are successfully performed, you get successful results, never and never take the credit to yourself. Mamakara abhavam. This is done by me. Like that. Your success depends on innumerable extraneous factors. more than 90% are not under your control. If you are successful, that means all these extraneous factors are favoring you. All those extraneous factors put together, we call it Ishvara Anugraham. If we are successful in conducting these MS team classes, there are so many other factors apart from you and I attending the classes. The power must be there, internet must be there, the signals must be proper, and nobody should disturb us during the class. Like that, there are so many factors which are helping us to have this class successful. So all these factors are Daivanugraham. So human effort plus Daivanugraham together gives you success. And if you take the percentage which is higher, the Daivanugraham is higher. So may you not have this manitvam, amanitvam, mama, aham, this syndrome. You should, you should get rid of that syndrome. Amanitvam is mamatva abhavam. This is a very, very important factor. So Viveka Buddhi, Iswararpana Buddhi, Iswara Prasada Buddhi. The fifth one is a natural consequence of all the four. That is termed in the sloka as Vigata Jvaraha. Vigata Jvaraha. Jvaram, as you know, it can happen physically or mentally. Physical Jvaram, we have to approach a doctor and get the medicines. If it is a mental Jvara, Vedanta can cure it. Life is what happens to you. Life is what happens to you. It is not totally under your control. So, this Vigata Jvara, in this, you have two things to address. One is called Karta and Bhokta. Kartaship, I am doing, I am the doer. Bhoktaship means I am the enjoyer. These are the two issues you will manage in Vigata Jvara. Vigata Jvara means Samatvam. Suddenly, something happens, you have to face some adverse situations. Some ailments come without giving any notice. Unwanted things do happen. For this, in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Dhrutyutsaha samanvita. A karma yogi must be an embodiment of utsaham, enthusiasm. Half of your tension is gone when you have that enthusiasm. If you learn to love what you have to do, you can get equanimity as a karta. Most of the times we don't like the job we are taking up. We feel we are, fit to do a better job. But situations are such that you don't get the job you like. You are forced to do a job which you do not like. So in that case, instead of feeling morose and doing helplessly and without any interest, you input lot of enthusiasm. You include enthusiasm and interest in your work because it is given by Ishvara, Ishvara Prasadam. When you understand that the work is Ishvara Prasadam, work is worship, you will do wonders. So this is managing the kartaship. Vigatajvara, the first part. The second part is bhokta. The second tension. First tension is as a karta I have tension. As a bhokta I have tension. As a bhokta, what I have tension, whatever I am enjoying, I deserve better. All those who are not talented, they are enjoying better, whereas I am not getting that much. So this kind of bhoktaship is with lot of tension. I have resistance to what is happening. When I resist to what happens, what happens in the wire, when the wire is showing lot of resistance, heat is generated. Simple physics law. When there is more resistance in the wire, the heat is generated. The wire is burnt. That is the principle of the fuse. So, in that tension, in the tension of managing the bhoktaship, the unwanted bhoktaship, the undesirable bhoktaship, I blame everyone. I blame even the God. God becomes a scapegoat. So, you have to learn to take the bhoktaship as Ishvara Prasadam and kartaship as the Ishvara Prasadam. Karta, bhokta you are, and that role play is given by God. Because it is given by God, may you take it with reverence. May you put lot of interest and enthusiasm in your doership and enjoyership. Then things will change a lot. You see difference in your life. So that is the exact situation of Arjuna. Guruna hatvahi mahanubhavan śrēyo bhōngtum vaśamāpi haloke. He says, instead of killing the great people like my grandfather and guru, it is better to beg and live. I will get victory, no doubt, but this blood-stained victory in every time, in every point after my victory, I see the blood of my guru and my grandfather in my victory. So, you have to love killing them without resistance. Because that is your vidyukta dharma. Krishna Paramatma says, don't have second thoughts. Because as a Kshatriya, they are in favor of adharma, so your priority is to establish dharma. So because your duty is to establish dharma, you should not spare anybody. So this kind of sentiments, this kind of doership and enjoyership, sometimes you get the resistance. That resistance should not be there. When it is given by Paramatma, you have to treat it as a reverence and then take up that with utmost reverence and fulfill it. Sadrusam cheshtate swasyaha prakrute jnanavanapi prakrutim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Sadrusyam cheshtate swasyaha prakrute jnanavanapi. Prakriti means nature. Everybody is dominated by his nature. So one cannot escape the nature. The dominance is by prakriti, because that is your swabhavam. We have got three gunas: tamoguna, rajoguna and sattva guna. Whatever is the dominant character, whatever is your swabhavam, you cannot escape that. To go against nature is very difficult. Nigraha kim karishyati. Nigraha kim karishyati means what will your effort do? Your effort will not help you because your prakriti is not in favor of that. Whatever is your prakriti, if you take up action in favor of that prakriti, you can be, you can carry out without any difficulty. So, prakritim yanti bhutani. So, all the living beings, they do their actions as per their prakriti, as per their, swabhavam. So, swabhavam is very, very important. If you look at a wild animal like a tiger will not eat grass because that is the prakriti of a tiger. Similarly, the best non-vegetarian dish, you keep it before a goat will not touch it because that is the prakriti of goat. So, sadrusyam chashtate swasyaha prakrute jnanavanapi. Even jnanis cannot escape their swabhava. Some jnanis, they do not prefer to move in the world. So, they prefer to go to a cave and then spend in solitary movements. Whereas some jnanis, like Shankaracharya, they write books and they spread Advaitam. So, which jnani is a better jnani, which jnani is a better Brahman? If you ask, both are equal. So, prakritim swasyate cheshtaha. So, like that, prakriti, as per prakriti, you are forced to do your action. One cannot escape the swabhavam. The swabhavam is very, very important. So, as per swabhava, we are all, guided. So, with this, Paramatma is continuing in 34 sloka number 34. I will read that. Indriyasyēndriyasyārthē rāgadvēṣau vyavasthitau tayōrna vaśamāgacchēttau hyasya paripanthinau. Indriyasyārthē indriyasya rāgadvēṣau vyavasthitau tayoho vasam na agacchēt tauhi asya paripanthinau. There is also always, according to the Karma Yoga, the priority with regard to the goals. One must have the priority with regard to goals. Offering all actions to God, accepting all results as God's gift, then humility and humble in appreciating, humility and humble nature in appreciating the blessings of success as the God's grace. Humility and humble nature, accepting the blessings of Lord in every success. Finally, the maintenance of samatva. So with this we have to proceed in the life, but indriyasyārthē rāgadvēṣau vyavasthitau. But one thing we must bear it in mind, all indriyas are having their own fancies, and they will cling to those indriya vishayas. Indriyasyēndriyasyārthē means indriya vishayas. What are the indriya vishayas? For eyes, all drusyam, all scenes, all whatever is seen is indriya vishayam. Sense objects, senses and sense objects. Senses are called indriyas, sense objects are called indriya artha. For eyes, the indriya artha is drusyam, seen. For ears, indriyārdha is sound. For tongue, indriyārdha is the taste. Like that, we have the sense objects for each indriya. So like that, the all 5 jnanendriyas, they spread 5 different words. The drusya prapancham, sabda prapancham, sparsha prapancham, then we have the taste prapancham. All these prapanchas are, right in front of us. In that prapancha, we have ragam and dvesham. Rāgadvēṣau vyavasthitau. So, depending on your nature, depending on your prakriti, you have a liking. You like certain things, you don't like the other thing. If it is a jnani, we say you prefer certain things, you don't prefer certain things. Tayoho vaśamna agacchēt. Tayoho vaśamna agacchēt means may you not come under the spell and control of this ragadvēṣa. So may you understand that the swabhavam, the prakriti is dominating, therefore it will have ragam and dvesham. If you are under the spell and control of this ragadvēṣam, if you are totally become a slave of ragam and dvesham, then you cannot be, continuing, you cannot continue the spiritual journey. Because tauhi asya paripanthinau, they are like, highwaymen, the robbers on the highway. In olden days, when they were sailing in the sea, they used to, rob the ship. There used to be, some thieves, who enter the ship and then rob the ship. So like that, tayoho vaśamna agacchēttau asya paripanthinau. They are like robbers in the highway. In your spiritual journey, they try to rob your path and try to distract you from your very ambition. They will sidetrack you and see that you don't achieve the goal. The likes and dislikes are bound to be there. One should not come under the control of sense organs. They are his enemies. So, you have to understand that you have to come out of this habit. One person experimented a particular thing. He took an onion. An onion gives a very pungent smell. So he wants to see whether this pungent smell will go or not, will vanish or not. So he sprinkled some scent and all that. He smeared the sandal paste and then put Kasturi, all fragrance, and then kept it in a box for some time, for about 1 hour or 2, and took that onion and tried to smell it. Same onion smell. So, the swabhavam, whatever is the swabhavam, the basic nature, the very basic characters, depends upon the very gunas. Whatever is the guna, according to the guna, you have this swabhava. So, as per guna, your swabhavam will be there. So, as per your swabhavam, your thoughts will be generated. So, all your thoughts depends upon your swabhavam. And once the thoughts arise in your mind, the words also come in favor of your thoughts. So, whatever you be your thoughts, accordingly you talk. Later, they will be converted into action. So, swabhavam is the starting point. If I am tamasic oriented, my thoughts will be tamasic and words also will be accordingly. And then my actions also tamasic. This is the innate tendency. You define a person according to his likes and dislikes. So you say that the person is good, bad, or moderate, whatever is the character. It is the judgment according to the likes and dislikes he has. Raghadvēṣams. The swabhavam generates raghadvēṣams. And gods, for that matter, are also not an exemption for this. Our Pujya Swamiji, Swami Dayananda ji, it tells in a humorous way, gods also do have these raghadvēṣams. If you give a flute to Saraswati, she will not prefer. If you give veena to Lord Krishna, he doesn't like it. So like that, they have preferences of their own musical instruments, their own likes and dislikes, their own likes in choosing the vehicles. Saraswati prefers swan and Vishnu prefers eagle. Our Ganesha prefers a rat. Like that, they have preferences in their own vehicles. Raghadvēṣau vyavasthitau. These raghadvēṣas are, they are bound to be there even with the gods. For that matter, if you look at the dress also, there is a preference for them. Ya kundendu tusharahara davala ya subra vastrāvruta. So Saraswati Devi prefers only white dress. So that way they have their own preferences, their own likings, their own, the ishta-vastus. This is because of this svabhava. We have, in the beginning, we have that sloka, sadrusyam cheshtate swasya prakrutehe jnanavanapi. So like that, according to the prakriti, a person behaves. One Japanese lady approached our Paramarthananda ji and asked him, what do you teach? Swamiji said, I teach Gita. She heard it as a guitar. Oh, you teach guitar. Like that she said, it seems. So whatever is your liking, you try to hear that way. So this person, dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangas teshu pajayate, sangat sanjayate kaman, kamat krodo bijayate, krodat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibrama, smriti bramsat buddhinasat, buddhinasat pranasyati. So a person constantly meditates a particular thing and then he falls in love with that thing. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. So by constantly in the exposure of vishayavastu, eyes are constantly watching a particular serial, ears are regularly listening to a particular music. Like that, when you are constantly exposed to a thing, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha, sangasteshu pajayate, sangam, you get the gelling, you get glued up to that vishayavastu. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho bijayate. Then you get a liking and you want that. I want, that wanting. If you don't get, you are angry. So this is the nature. Tayoho vaśamāgacchēttau. Tayoho vaśam na agacchēt. So may you not come under the spell and control, and may you not become a slave of these vyavasthitau. Like we say, this Agni and Vayu. In the initial stage, the Agni is a Shatru for Vayu. Agni means fire and Vayu means the air. Initially, Vayu is an enemy for Agni because in the initial stage, when there is a fire, if you want to fire the deepam before the god, light a lamp before the god, you have to switch off the fan. If that fan air is there circulating, then you cannot lit the lamp. So in the initial stage, Vayu is an enemy for Agni. When the Agni become huge, like the towering of inferno, so when it becomes a conflagration, then Vayu is helpless. Vayu joins with the Agni and becomes a friend. If you cannot win, they say that there is a rule, if you cannot win, join the enemy. So like that, the Vayu also joins hands with the Agni and then burns everything. So that way, tayoho vaśam na agacchēt. In the initial stage only, you try to realize and then come out of this habit. They come out of this grip of sense objects. Like a disease or an enemy, they say, if you find a disease in the beginning, cure it. Similarly, if you notice an enemy, you have to demolish the enemy. Like this, jnana ratnapaharaya. All these, this is kamam, krodham, lobham, madam, matsaryam. They are all shatrus. So initially, when you notice them, you try to arrest them. You try to regularize them and try to divert them to a proper direction. So this is a very important thing. Then 35th one, śrēyānsvadharmō viguṇaḥ paradharmātsvanuṣṭhitāt svadharmē nidhanaṁ śrēyaḥ paradharmō bhayāvahaḥ. One's own duty, though improperly performed, is better than properly performing another's duty. Even if death occurs in one's duty, it is better. Another duty is dangerous. Here, Paramatma is talking about svadharmā and paradharmā. Svadharmā means your own dharmam. Whatever is the dharmam ordained on you, whatever is the dharmam for others, you have to do whatever is ordained on you, even though it is difficult, even though it is not performed properly, than doing paradharmā, the other's dharma, though you can do perfectly. In performing swadharma, even if death occurs, it is better, because paradharmā is dangerous. Anytime it is dangerous. Why Paramatma is telling all this? Arjuna is a kshatriya. His dharmam is to fight against adharma and establish dharma. Only for that reason he waged war. Now at this juncture, he changed his mind and he says, I won't fight. So, fighting a war is a svadharmā for Kshatriya. Fighting a war is a svadharmā for Kshatriya. And instead of taking up the svadharmā, because he saw his guru and his pitamaha, he wanted to run away from the battlefield. And that is, he wants to take up sannyasam, which is paradharmā. So, paradharmā is vyavasthitau. It is dangerous because he is only out of emotion. He wants to run away. Once he settles as a sannyasa, again his kshatriya guna will come out. And he cannot sit quiet. He cannot live like a monk. Because his swadharma, that prakriti, is dominating. So, a sannyasa ashrama is not befitting for Arjuna. So, Paramatma is clearly saying that you have to take up your swadharma than taking up paradharma. Paradharma is not good. Swadharma is always better. Now, this swadharma definition can be taken as dharma by virtue of birth in case of Arjuna, because his jati dharma and guna dharma, they match. His jati is kshatriya jati and his gunam is also kshatriya gunam. He is rajoguna pradhana. So both are matching. So that swadharma is taken as kshatriya guna there. Sometimes what happens, there will be a conflict. A person is too sattvic in nature, but born as a kshatriya. Then his swadharma is sattvika guna, because that is his prakriti. So whatever is prakriti can be taken instead of the birth as the the benchmark, as the clear understanding for swadharma. And apart from the prakriti, you also have to follow the dharma. Simply by prakriti, if you are guided, sometimes you are bound to take adharmic life, let go life, edeshtacharam. So that is not the swadharma. Swadharma means according to your swabhava, whatever fits your swabhava. If you are sattvic, take up sattvic work. According to the dharma, legally, legitimately you take up sattvic works. Legitimately you take up rajoguna works. Like that, your prakriti prompts you to do certain work. But before doing the work, you have to check whether it is within the purview of dharma or not. If it is not a dharmic work, do not take it up. So, swabhavam plus dharmam together is called swadharma. This is the definition of swadharma. May you not simply understand that swadharma means whatever is the birth you have taken, that is called swadharma. That is swadharma. When it will be swadharma? When your birth and your nature coincides. You are born as a Brahmin, but a lot of rajoguna is there. Then that is not your swadharma. Because your prakriti is different. Though the birth is prompting sattva guna, but your prakriti is different. So you are out and out doing some activity. So that way swadharma can be defined. Swadharma can be understood as the dharma prompted by swabhavam plus the nature plus the dharmic life. Arjuna, you have to perform the duty according to your prakriti. Your prakriti is rajoguna pradhana. your life is activity oriented. Whenever there is a tendency of adharmic actions, you have to nip it in the bud. Take up dharmic and legitimate activity. You have to go according to the swabhava plus the dharma ordained by the scriptures. Therefore, you have to respect prakriti and you have to respect dharma also. So, dharma means you have to respect prakriti, you have to respect dharma also. Suppose you want to go somewhere on the road, nobody stops you. You can go wherever you want. So, as per your prakriti, you can decide. You can desire to go anywhere you want. But once you enter the road, you need to follow the traffic rule. That is called dharma. So, you take up desires as per your prakriti and follow dharma. So, this together, the swabhavam plus dharma together is called svadharmā. So, with this, what happens, when we get these, the ideas, the thoughts in our mind, we get, dominated by various thoughts. In the previous sloka, I told you, your swabhavam will generate thoughts, your thoughts will generate words, your words will generate the actions. So, now what we have to do is, tayoho vaśamāgacchēttau. That was the, prescription given there. On one case, it is said that your thoughts are prompted by your swabhavam, and may you not come under the spell and control of the swabhavam, your prakriti. Now, for this, what Shastra says, the first thought, how the first thought comes, is not in your control. Tayoho vaśamāgacchēttau. The first thought is not under your control because the first thought is governed by your prakriti, your nature. Later, to give more manure and nourish that thought and then make it a big tree is in your hand. Your free will place there. So when the first thought comes, it is absolutely choiceless. It is based on your prakriti. The second thought onwards is under your control. Whether to continue it or not to continue it or to divert it to a better thought is all under your control. So, tayoho vaśamāgacchēttau means at the very thought level, first thought you allow it and second thought you process it. You apply filters. If it is not a desirable thought, nip it in the bud. So that is what adharmic actions. May you not take up any adharmic action. So this is what Paramatma wants to say. There is a rich man, and he wanted to go to a place by a flight. So next day morning, he is supposed to leave the premises. He is ready in all aspects and about to go. When he was about to get into his cab, the watchman came running. He said, Stop, don't go today. Why should I not go? I had a dream in the early morning that the plane you are going to travel will have a crash. So kindly don't move from this place. Don't take up that flight. He literally prayed. Then that rich man thought for a while and stayed back. And it is so happened that plane had a crash and so many people died. So that rich man called the watchman and rewarded him with lot of money and also ousted him from the job of watchmanship. Why boosting? Because as a watchman, he is supposed to be awake. He did not do. Paradharmā vyavasthitau. Paradharmam is very dangerous. There is a story in the lower classes, in the nursery level or so. They say that in a house there is a donkey and also a dog was there. So a thief entered the house. The dog was not barking, though it saw the thief, whereas the donkey noticed. Then it thought it should alert the owner, and it started braying. It started braying so fanatically. The owner got disturbed, and he came out and thrashed that donkey. So paradharmā bhayāvahaḥ, by taking up the dharma of others, is not appreciated, not good. That is how our Shastra says, do take up your action as per your prakriti and in accordance with the dharma. So prakriti prompted action in tune with dharma is called svadharmā. And then we have the 35th is over, then 36th sloka. With this, Paramatma has completed the karma yoga. Now Arjuna is, he is questioning Krishna Paramatma. He is bringing up a new topic which is very, very useful, very important to all of us. Very important and valid question. Arjuna uvāca atha kēna prayuktō pāpaṁ carati pūruṣaḥ anicchannapi vārṣṇēya balādiva niyojitaḥ. He vārṣṇēya atha kēna prayuktah ayam pūruṣaḥ anicchannapi balat niyojitaḥ iva pāpaṁ carati. Arjuna asked, O Krishna, then prompted by what does the person commit a sin? Why a person is doing a sin? Even though unwilling, as though he is forcibly persuaded to do the sin. See, when you look at these people who are doing all kinds of sins, they know what is sin, what is wrongdoing. They know dharma and adharma. In spite of that, they will be doing sins. So, what is that is prompting them to do sin? They are doing sins as though they are forced by some shakti. What is that? So, a very important and valid question by Arjuna. Hey Krishna, scriptures are there to guide everyone, and scriptures clearly prompt which course of life is favorable, which course of life is unfavorable, which is dharmic and which is adharmic. So the scriptures are clearly pointing out to tell you what is dharma and what is adharma. They clearly present the values of life. And besides this, Bhagavan has given the discriminative power to know what is proper and what is improper. What is dharma and what is adharma, anybody's common sense will tell you. Even though they are not exposed to scriptures, even the common sense will tell you this is dharma, this is not dharma. So, this is known by scriptures as well as by our buddhi. Even in spite of this kind of knowledge, why people are resorting to the adharmic actions, the improper, and illegitimate actions. What prompts them? That is the question. Our Pujya Swamiji tells that even though a thief does all kinds of thefts and robberies and all that, he knows what is dharma and what is adharma. He knows what is the value of life and how to live and all that he knows. How do you say that he knows that it is wrong? He knows that stealing is wrong because he does it secretly. He will not do it openly in front of the public when the public is watching. He knows, that is why he does it secretly. Look at another case. The two thieves, they were jointly robbing people, and they made a lot of money. One day, one of them took all the booty and left. The other thief complains, see that gentleman cheated me. The gentleman cheated me. So they were doing the same thing. But now that means he knows what is cheating, what is wrongdoing, and still they are doing as though they are forced to do, as though there is some Shakti which is prompting them to do this kind of thing. Duryodhana confesses in one occasion in Mahabharata. Duryodhana says that I know what is dharma, I cannot follow it. Something is prompting me to do adharma. I definitely know what is dharma, what is adharma, but I cannot help it but doing adharma. So that is what Duryodhana expressed. That means that is the prakriti. When prakriti gives thought according to the nature, you have to, the thought, that evil thought or noble thought, whatever thought that is generated by the prakriti is not in your control. You have no choice. Thereafter, you can apply filters. The second thought onwards is in your control. The second thought onwards, you can have a choice whether to continue, nourish it, and make it a huge tree. That is all in your hand. So, you have to be not under the spell and control, not under you should not become a slave of the rāgadvēṣau. So, this is a very important question posed by Arjuna. Let us see what Paramatma tells. It is very useful to all of us. So, we'll wait for the next week and listen to the solution. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnascha Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.